Go.
Welcome, mystery lovers, to another chilling episode of Spooky Mysteries. I'm Joe, your host, and tonight we're peeling back the marigold. We're peeling back the marigold petals on Dia de los Muertos to reveal the legends that lurk in the shadows. I do not like that. I got my script set to like crawl, and it is taking way too long because I read way too fast, and it's set to. Let's do that. That's gonna be better. It's set to like super slow speed, but and I read way faster than that. But the whole thing that stretches out what I do is that I do this. I stop and I talk and I just have fun. So let's continue this because today is the first. Which, if I'm not mistaken, which there's been many times I get mistaken. I'm just not the brightest sometimes, but today is the beginning of Dia de los Muertos, November 1st. Yeah, calendar pop up. Oh, today's October. November isn't until next month. See, so I'm wrong. Ah. This is my Topo Chico. If you step into my office, you got to be careful because I got bottle caps everywhere. Nice Topo Chico. Sparkling water. But anyways, I wanted I wanted to do a Dia de los Muertos episode because it is fast approaching. And I wanted to share with y'all everything that's happened to me, which I need to go grab my cable from my iPhone so I can hook up my iPhone. I'll do that later. As some of y'all know that follow me on Instagram and TikTok, I've teased things like, oh, come see what happened in the Joliet prison in Chicago. Nothing happened. It wasn't overtly haunted. Yeah, there was like you could smell like books whether in an abandoned building where there hasn't been books in who knows how long. Um, there was a couple pictures where my camera would not focus, and there was an orb that suddenly like right in front of my camera, like directly in front of my camera. Now, most times I would argue that it's dust, like dust emotes and things like that. Hey, any games that I like? There's a lot of games that I like, man. I was a real big Call of Duty streamer for a while. I stopped doing that because it was just me and my buddies. We did los Los Toxico Senpais was what we were on. We had a podcast too, but that kind of fizzled out when everyone separated and went different places. My buddy Paco, who's now part of the Alpha Primos podcast, he's in South Texas. My other buddy's in Fort Worth. He's constantly traveling now. I'm in Arlington, so I could go meet up with him anytime I wanted. And my other buddy that was with me is now a truck driver, and he's all over the country. Yeah, go to sleep, have a good time. Any questions, just ask me. I used to play a lot of horror games too, so I'm gonna try to bring that back when I get my PS5. Where is it at? It's on this side. It's on that side. It's on that side, over there in the corner behind this chair. When I get that set up, I'll probably do some streams with that. But until then, I don't know what I do. Back to what I was doing here. Where is my script at? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, about everything that's happened at like Joliet. There was a couple things that were kind of spooky, kind of scary. Well, not scary, just more spooky and unnerving. Like it was kind of weird going into the abandoned prison cells, the solitary confinement area, the segregation area, and things like that. It was weird because it it's unnerving, and I'm not someone who gets unnerved very easily by things, but I kind of hesitated going into there. I haven't uploaded all the videos and pictures to my computer so I can show it to y'all. But if I were to like show y'all that day's video footage, that's let me get rid of this real quick because I don't need this up. Like that's while I was traveling, right? That's when I stopped to eat, stopped to visit, and then there's the prison. And this is everything I took that day. And that's on this phone. I mainly use this phone when I'm out and about. Let's see some stupid pictures. Joliet right here. There's Joliet. Look at all that. So I have tons of footage that I have to go through to show y'all everything. That's at the front. But the first crazy picture is actually at the front, which is on my other phone, the other phone, the main phone that I use. See if I can show y'all. Let's see from the beginning of that day. Nope, 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 nope. I delete it? No. How did food get in between? Wait, what the hell? Yeah, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 videos are in between my Joliet file. That's weird. But here's the picture. I had to take that picture twice of the front, even in motion. It goes in, and at the last second, it just goes out. Like, watch. There it goes. Take the picture. Boom. Done. It won't focus. Every other picture came out great. I took burst photos too, so I can kind of record a bunch of stuff. So in case I missed anything, I could see something. But this was a cool place to go visit. If you ever get a chance to go down there or go up there, because I'm from down south, I recommend going there. Wait, what's that? What? Oh, broken glass. Okay. Broken mirror or window in the shape of a person, which is kind of weird. The only real ghost we had there was my stepdad because he went ahead, or not that he went ahead, like we would separate and we would go different places. And we'd hear things, like me and my mom would be like, oh, we hear something. And then we turn the corner and it's my stepdad walking around with his little flashlight looking around. He loves that kind of stuff. We all do, my mom especially. But we were like, what is going on? It's like, oh no, our ghost is just Rick. But I left my phone a few places to record because I have my microphone. I have this microphone right here, which is a very strong magnet. So I would leave it on like some of the cell doors, and super embarrassing, right? So I left it on the cell door. You hear go boom because the magnet hits the thing and it just sticks. And these are solid metal doors. So it made this loud noise. So I stick the magnet, and I hate to admit this, but as soon as I stuck the magnet and I took that first step, I farted. I hate to admit it, but I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did. And the microphone picked it up beautifully, which is hilarious. But then, mind you, I don't have the camera, I don't have the microphone on me. And as I'm walking away, you can hear somebody breathing. And I'm in this area by myself. So as I'm walking away, all you hear is like me passing gas. I hate to say it, but I farted. And then you hear, I was like, and I went back and I played the footage and I listened real close. I was like, who's breathing that hard? Because it's not on me. At first, I could be like, oh, it's just me because I have the microphones on me. But I only take one at a time ever. Because you notice the other one doesn't have a windsock. It's paired to this. This one is paired to my iPhone. So I only ever take one camera or one microphone at a time. And that time you could hear someone breathing very hard into the microphone. Of course, the jokes come out like my mom and my step. They're like, "Oh, it's probably smelling your fart." It went away. I was like, "Oh my god!" The only ghost I catch on footage, and I banished it with the fart. So I'll go through all that footage tonight and tomorrow, and I will definitely post it all in Instagram, TikTok, and all that good stuff. Um, but it was just funny to me that like the only footage that I or the only audio that I could pick up EVP was right after I farted. That's so embarrassing. So yeah. Why does it say I have two chats? This one? Nothing. Yeah, I don't have nothing there. It's only going to be live stream. Anyways, let's get back to the footage or to the script where we left off. Okay. Where was I? That lurk in the shadows. Okay. Sure, you know the altars, the sugar skulls, and the family gatherings, but what if I told you this night isn't just about remembering the dead? What if, while we honor them, something else is watching and waiting? Dim the lights, grab your pan de muerto, and get ready. And before I go on, if you're in Arlington, Texas, go down to Pan Pan Bakery, coffee shop, whatever it's called. They made pan de muertos. I just saw it on their Instagram post. I am not sponsored or affiliated with them at all. They're just a local bakery, and I give them all the love in the world. I actually DM'd the owner with a recipe for forbidden horchata. And if you follow me and you've been on my page, you've seen my hidden horchata. It looks Mine looks horrible because of the way I made it. I didn't post it. Oh, I didn't post it to TikTok or Instagram. Well, I guess y'all get to see it all the way to the top. Here's me drinking it. Focus. See that purple drink? That is the forbidden horchata. Or I saw it on one thing that said like Mexican love potion. And all it is horchata made with black rice, which I did the math and I broke it down to price point. It's about $2 a cup. So if you want to make it, bottle it, sell it, it's starting at $2 a cup is how you'll break even. You want to make a profit? Let's see, that makes because it originally makes four. You use 4 cups of water, but you can cut that in half. Well, not you can double it and put about 8 cups of water in there, and it'll still retain its flavor, but it won't be as creamy. So you'll still get a lot of flavor. So at that point, $2 a piece at eight. So that's what 2 times 8. That's 16. You're making an extra dollar if you make it like that and you don't charge extra. But if you just make the 4 cups and you sell it, then you're losing money. Math. Sorry about that. But if you are in Arlington, Texas, go down to Pan Pan and check them out. They don't know who the hell I am, but if you tell the owner, tell them check your Instagram. A podcaster who does scary shit and true crime and history sent you a recipe because he used to be a former chef. And I did used to be a chef at one point or another. I went to Le Cordon Bleu. So I am certified. Anyways, beyond the point, let's get back to it because I am very distracted all the time. Hey, I saw someone say, hey, I saw that at the bottom right as I'm ranting and raving. What's going on? I don't know who you are. When you pop up on my feed, it's just a person. Doll. Oh, what's going on? I was like, who is this? What's going on? You caught me right as I'm streaming. I was about to read it. Take a breath. My brain works too fast. I was about to do an episode for Dia de los Muertos. I think two of them because I got two scripts down that I'm using. Yeah, they're both for Dia de los Muertos. So I'll probably be repeating a lot of information. How are you doing? I like and follow all your stuff. That's me. Actually, before we go any further, oh, it's not on here. Okay, cool. I can do this somewhere else. Boom, boom, boom. Go down over here. Now, since I do have someone on here now, how's it going, doll? Share and rally support. Here we go. I don't know if you'll be able to use this or not. I want to use this one. Edit text. Change the link to my link. Okay, and then there you go. Save and show. There it goes. Vote here. See where it says vote there? That is for the face of Halloween. It's on Facebook. If you can go click on that link, follow. I'm in second place. I need to get to first place to move on to the next round. And if I win the overall thing, I get to go to California with who is it with? It's 3 different people, and I always forget the names, but I know what movies they're from. I'm bad with names. There's a day left too. Learn more? No. View my profile. Oh, you're on YouTube. Cool. I just saw that it's from YouTube. It doesn't tell me where all my people are coming from. Thank you so much. I get all the notifications from everyone that votes. So, oh, I get an interview, or I get to do something with Aaron Goodwin, Kane Hodder. And if you don't know who Kane Hodder is, he is Jason Voorhees. And then I hate the man. I know who it is, but I can never pronounce his name. Illard? Illard? Fuck. Okay. I know who it is. He played Shaggy. He was in Five Nights at Freddy, the movie. He was the villain. I know his name. I don't. Matthew Lillard. I always call him Illard Willard. Matthew Lillard. I get to meet Matthew Lillard, Kane Hodder, and the last person is the most famous person ever, and I don't know her name off the top of my head. She was in Freaky Friday, the original. Yes, I get to hang out with Jason if I win. Jamie Lee Curtis. Jesus, why do I always forget her name? So if I win, I get to meet the original Jason, which is Kane Hodder. American actor and stuntman. Let's look at his movie credentials. He was in Jason X, Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Goes to Hell, Friday the 13th, Part 7. He was in Wishmaster too. I didn't know he was in Wishmaster. His name was Jason 30 Years Later, which is a documentary. Hearts of Darkness, where he got to play a version of Jason. He's in a bunch of horror movies, but mainly from Friday the 13th. Thank you so much. And if I don't win, don't feel bad, because this also goes to a children's hospital. So I'm pushing for it just because A, it goes to a children's hospital. B, if I win, I get to meet some amazing people. Like I said, Matthew Illard, Jason Hodder, and Jamie Lee Curtis. The one with with Jason Hodder, or not Jason, Kane Hodder. I got his name confused. Jason. The one with Kane Hodder, if I'm not mistaken, I get to go with him to a haunted house. Like, we get to do a haunted house thing. So if I win, I'm super excited about that. And I've been reading the things that I don't even need to win first place because he gets his own vote. Like they each get their own like who they want to take thing. So I could specifically just win a thing with him, which would be amazing. But would also be amazing is get the grand prize and get all three. And I'm also there's also a page in a magazine, so I get my own little section in the magazine. There's just so much that could go with it too. It's the magazine, the three celebrities, interviews, all that stuff. I get the with Jamie Lee Curtis, it's a meet and greet. With Matthew Illard, I believe it's also a meet and greet, if not more, which that would be amazing in itself. But then with Kane Holder, it's not just a meet and greet, it's a haunted house meet and greet, which is amazing. So I really want to win that. And this contest goes all the way through to the almost the end of October. So there's plenty of time. There's not plenty of time. There's today. There's a day left in this for me to get into first place for my group because it's put in groups. I'm currently in second in my group. The guy above me is Jason Enderton. So there's 27 hours left. Anyways, thank you so much. Whether I win or not, it's fine by me. Like I said, it goes to a children's hospital. So, yes, let's see. I was going to see if it gave me like what I win. Okay, yeah, here it is. So, um, the champion will meet Jamie Lee Curtis at a charity event to see the impact of the campaign firsthand. So it'll be a charity event at a hospital gala. And then I will definitely ask her that. I'll have my phones with me, so I will ask her. Um, with Kane Holder, he's the supernatural host. She's the charity host. He's the supernatural host, and he's the cinematic host. So Kane Holder is the icon will join the champion for a paranormal investigation, as well as select one or more horror fans to join in on the bone chilling experience. So even if I don't win first place, if I can at least make it to the next section, then I could still go with them to do this, which is amazing. I would love to do that. And then Matthew Lillard, I always mess up his name. We'll get an exclusive meet and greet with him later this year. So the other two are more upfront. The other one's going to be later on. So there's People's Choice, meets all three of them and is featured in Rue magazine and wins a prize. Kane's Choice joins the hunt. So that's it. Yeah. And it's for the Starlight Children's Foundation. Stephen King once said, "We make up horrors to help us cope with real ones. While we enjoy fictional scares, real life horrors like hospitalizations can be terrifying. Thanks to organizations like Starlight Children's Foundation, hospitals don't have to be so scary." Face of Halloween proudly supports Starlight Children's Foundation, which aims to deliver happiness to seriously ill kids and their families through toy deliveries, fun hospital wear, gaming, and more. So that is all that is popping up with this. The past three winners. Ooh, the past three winners have been women. I'll be the first man. I'll be pretty though, because I got the hair. Yes, he is from Scream. He's also Scream, Five Nights of Freddy the movie, Carrie, Scooby Doo. He's most famous for Scooby Doo. He's Shaggy. Five Nights at Freddy, Scooby Doo, Scream, and he was the director. Literally is an actor, director, and Scream King. Catch him in Scream 7, releasing next year. What other movies has he been in? He's been in a lot of movies. I know that. He's been in tons of movies. So let's see. Scooby Doo, Scream, Five Nights at Freddy, She's All That, CLC Punk, 13 Ghosts. That's where I remember him. 13 Ghosts was my favorite. There's a Five Nights at Freddy 2. Hasn't come out yet. He was in Shameless. He was also in Hackers. Yeah. Oh, Hackers is a great movie. Without a Paddle, that was funny. Excuse me. He's accredited with a lot of Scream. In the Name of the King. Yeah, he has a ton of movies. Scooby Doo, mainly a lot of Scooby Doo, because he voiced Shaggy in a lot of it too, not just the movie. You know what? I'm not a big Scream fan. They're great movies. Don't get me wrong. They are awesome movies. He's 6'4". Jesus, I'm 5'10", 5'11" on a good day. Yeah, I don't know why. I've just never been a huge Scream fan. I love the movies. They're great, but they're not something I play continuously. It is a great movie. They are great psychological thrillers. They are great thrillers, but to me, it's not. It doesn't fall within my realm of horror movies for some reason. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but 13 Ghosts. That's an underrated. I think it's an underrated classic. The Dark Zodiac. On YouTube, I play. There's a channel that made a few years ago a full series and backstory of the Dark Zodiac, and it took from the movie and the website that was associated with the movie at the time, and they compiled it all into like its own. Each one gets its own detailed description and backstory on it, and I watch that every year without fail since that movie's come out and since I found it on YouTube. I watch that entire thing once or twice, maybe three times a year. I watch the description of it. It is a guilty pleasure. I don't know. Five Nights at Freddy was pretty good though. It was a lot better than I anticipated. Anyways, yes. Actually, when's it come? When is it? What is it on? I could just click on it. I'm dumb. Watch movie. It's on Amazon for $4, Fandango for 4, Google for 4, Apple. There's nothing streaming it. Oh, who's streaming it? AMC. Hmm. Netflix? Not available in my country. Well, but yeah. I guess what I'm buying pretty soon, whenever I get a chance. I'm buying it. Actually, YouTube might have it. Anyways, yeah. So I've been distracted. Hispanic true crime. That is not the title of this one. There you go. How to update the title. Yes, it is one of my favorite horror movies. I have tons of horror movies that I love that I watch continuously. 13 Ghosts is my top one. Um, the Conjuring universe can never go wrong with the Conjuring universe. Jason, the original ones, up to a certain point, but after a certain one, it kind of gets a little because they kind of go off the rails. Jason Goes to Hell was a pretty good one. Then I watch Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, I love Nightmare on Elm Street. Those are hands down my favorite. And that's right. I have a case down here of Topo Chicos, and I just finished a case. On my table over here, there's like a bottle. There's another bottle over here. I drink these all the time. My On my wall over here, I have Liquid Death posters, and I drink a lot of Topo Chico and Liquid Death. This is the grapefruit. Had to see what flavor was grapefruit. But yeah, they're for they win all the time. If you were here like before you got on here, like literally maybe a minute before you got on there, here You can't watch The Conjuring. Why is it too scary? They are good. They're very good. Um, you should. I have those on. Those are on repeat at my house. That's either out in the living room, my phone, or the TV back here. I had it playing. I have it as background noise because I have ADHD and ADD or one of those things, whichever one makes this happen. I have it as background noise. So no matter what, I can focus on that and I just watch it. It does not taste like static. It is delicious. This isn't just mineral water. This is flavored mineral water. Regular mineral. When I was growing up, yeah, I hated mineral water. It didn't taste great, but it wasn't my favorite. But now that I'm older, this is amazing. And I've already practiced in case I ever get a sponsorship, label out. There's a gnat in here. I hate gnats. But yeah. I can't say that because I grew up Catholic and I watch horror movies. I watch horror movies more than I've been to church. Um, but yeah, it they can get a little intense for people, and I saw them. I saw every single one of them opening night. So every time one comes out, I'm usually there opening night, except for this last one's the only one I haven't been to go watch at opening night. Is it out? Or was those just people who got advanced seatings? Last rights should already be out. Yeah, September 5th. It's already out. Yeah. I want to watch The Last Rites. I heard this one was amazing. They can help you quit drinking, yeah. In my mini fridge, I have a 6 pack Modelo. I'm not gonna lie. I don't ever lie. But yeah, this helped me quit drinking sodas as much because I do have a Dr. Pepper that's unfinished. Yeah, it is out. It came out on the 5th of last month. That's the only one I have not gone to go watch in theaters. So I'll wait till it comes out on home theater, or I'll wait till it comes out on streaming, and I'll probably watch it here, or I'll probably watch it in my living room with my surround sound because I love those movies. Those are amazing. Um, if oh yeah, Candyman. I recently did something with that. The guy who played Candyman recently passed away, if I'm not mistaken. But I binged all the Candyman series not too long ago. The new one was pretty good. The new one was pretty good. Tony Dodd. Yeah, Tony Dodd, the original Candyman, passed away last year, November 6th, 2024. The last movie he was in, the only reason I remembered that he passed away recently is because in Final Destination Bloodlines, when he turns to the screen and he gives that amazing monologue at the end, that was before he passed away. So knowing that and then watching it and hearing what he says, it hits so differently. You're just like, he's talking to me. I was like, I was on the verge of tears. I was like, my God. But yeah. So yeah, he was an amazing actor. He was in a lot of stuff. He always played like the creepy old guy, the serious guy. He was amazing. Oh, right here on the article. I found the article for it. Final Destination Bloodline star Tony Todd went off script for his last goodbye. So that whole thing was his goodbye to everybody. So, because he was sick, he didn't just pass away because he was old. No, he was sick. So that at the very end, where he says, reveals that he before he passed away, I intend to enjoy the time I have left, and I suggest you do the same. He says in the film, "Life is precious. Enjoy every single second. You never know when. Good luck." The moving last words came from Todd himself rather than the script. Knowing that Todd was ill, the directors encouraged him to ignore what was on the page and use his own voice instead to share his thoughts and the meaning of death. They told Tony to put aside the script and just speak from the heart about what life was about. Like I'm getting choked up. Like that was amazing. He was an icon in the horror franchise, and before he passed away, his final words will forever be cemented in one of the most amazing horror movie franchises ever. Final Destination that changed an entire generation because I don't drive behind 18 wheelers that have poles or logs on them for that reason alone. But the fact that his goodbye was like that, it's so different. Like go back, watch that movie again just for that scene and have that in the back of your mind that those are his real last words to us, the audience. And it'll impact you so differently. And it was, because I didn't see Final Destination Bloodlines in theaters. I saw it here at my house, right here. And I already knew he passed away. So as I was watching it, I was like, that's deep. He did have that face, yeah. He had that face that made him just so you didn't know if he was the good guy or the bad guy. For like the first two, three movies in Final Destination, I think the first two, everyone thought he was death because he was not just the Undertaker, but he was there at all times. Every time something happened, they went to him. Oh, I have burping a lot because of the Topo Chico. But yeah, he was an amazing actor. I could have easily done this. Let's see, open this screen, throw this over here. I'll just go back to that. Oh yeah, no, take your time. If you got to go somewhere, go somewhere. If you're driving home, don't mind me. I actually got a script to read because I've been here for 38 minutes and I have done nothing on my episode. I get so distracted. Like I put myself on a time limit. Like, okay, I'm gonna put out a 45-minute episode, cut it up into three pieces, and post it throughout the week or throughout the next 3 weeks, and I'm done for a month. And this how one episode went. Let me get my script back up. So I'm not going to be ignoring you, but I will be reading a script. So if I don't see your messages, is because my script is on top of the chat display. So I'm not ignoring you, but I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Sorry about that. Where was I? Oh my God. I don't even know where I was anymore. Okay, dim the lights was the last thing I said. Okay, so I vape, which this is out. This is my last on this one. It goes in the trash. Dim the lights was the last thing I said. So back to it. I might as well just start the script over. It was still at the beginning. It's no, I'm not gonna start over. Let's just go from dim the lights. Whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. Sorry. I just realized my lips are dry. So hold on. Oh, you smoke? Smoke what? I used to be a heavy smoker, cigarettes, um, and other things right there. There's a hidden vape right there. That one's solely for relaxation and sleep. Not that I do that in the state of Texas, where it has now been deemed illegal to even have a vape. Bastards. Can't even get a vape anymore. I mean, I could. There's always a way around the rules. And I guarantee you the vape shop I go to is still open because it's open 24/7. Anyways, don't distract me. So, there you go. Dim the lights messages. Not you, just other messages popping up that I don't need. Dim the lights, grab your pan de muerto, and get ready. These aren't the stories you'll hear at. These aren't the stories you'll hear in school or at your family's ofrenda. These are the tales whispered after midnight. The ones that send chills down your spine when the candles burn low. Had to scratch my nose. When the candles burn low. I used to smoke. Let me mark that because everything before here is going to get clipped down a little bit. I used to smoke cigarettes a lot to the point where, at my peak, at the most amount of cigarettes I've ever smoked in my life. I got an itch in my nose. The most that I've ever smoked would have been 3, 4 packs a day. Marlboro Reds. I will always remember that. I used to smoke 4 packs of Reds a day. And that was only for like 2-3 months. Then I cut back and I switched to blends. And then eventually I was only smoking Marlboro Lights. And that was about a pack a week, give or take, every couple days. Personally, I prefer soft packs. Now, soft packs. If you still smoke, I recommend soft packs if you share. Only because if you share, you don't know where the next person's hands have been. So you tear off the bottom of the soft pack. So now you're grabbing it from the end that you're burning. I had to stop because the camera just started freaking out on me. That was a lot. Yeah. Um so I recommend small soft packs because then you just pack it and you smoke from the end that you're touching, that you're burning, instead of the end that goes in your mouth. And that's just something I learned from an uncle of mine in Mexico. Damn, it's almost 6 o'clock. The mailman just showed up. 6 o'clock, the mailman just showed up. Okay, let's get back to it because I got to do this. Legend one. And this is one I've talked about a lot, La Llorona. I always talk about La Llorona. She's the number one in Hispanic folklore. I'm looking at my mailman. He's about to start on the circle around. He'll be here in a few minutes. La Llorona, the soul collector. You've heard of La Llorona, the weeping woman, forever searching for her lost children. But most people don't know her connection to Dia de los Muertos. See, before the Spanish came, the Aztecs told stories of Nahuatl. I don't speak Nahuatl. Told stories of Cihuacuatle, the serpent women wailing through dim the lights. Yeah, I. You know what? I could dim my lights. I can't dim that light, but I can dim that light. I don't want to stand up because I'm wearing short shorts. Hold on. I gotta close my curtain. This beanie, I'll tell you the story about the beanie. Don't stare at my ass. That cuts a lot of light out. Ugh. Which one are you? I really look. Don't look at me. This got the right one on the first try. There he goes. I could actually change those lights too. Hold on. Let's set the mood here. Ooh, red. Not green. Maybe blue. What? Am I just turning it on and off? Yeah, I want this. It's dim the blue. Not yellow. Purple? No, not purple. Think red and dim. Ooh, yeah, that's beautiful there. It just switched to green. I don't have it on the right one. How did I just hit? Not that one. Yeah, don't want that. Don't want a rainbow. Don't need kaleidoscope. That's cool. That's going to mess with my settings. I turned it off. I don't need blinking. I just need a solid red light. Thank you. I want this one. Perfect. There we go. A nice red hue, right? I could turn off this screen too. Fuck it. Let's do this. Turn off this other screen. I don't need this screen. I can't turn it off. Okay, cool. Oh, fuck me then. Is he leaving already? I didn't hear my dogs bark. Anyways. The serpent woman wailing through the night as a warning of doom. Over centuries, she became La Llorona, a spirit who doesn't just mourn, she collects. On Dia de los Muertos, when the veil between the worlds is thinnest, La Llorona is said to wander not just rivers, but the streets and cemeteries, seeking the souls of children, forgotten by their families. And I just got a phone call. Fuck, everything's just going wrong right now. Who called me? It's a Texas number. I have to call this number back. Hold on, everybody. Oh, nobody. Nobody important. Okay, ignoring everything now. Jesus, I'm the worst storyteller ever. In Xochimilco, people whisper about a family who once left their youngest off the ofrenda. That night, neighbors heard the unmistakable cry of La Llorona. I don't have that set up anymore. I used to have it set up where I could push a button on my stream deck here, and it would play "Ay mis hijos" everywhere. I could have hooked it up to that TV. I'm not going to do it. On the unmistakable cry of "Ay mis hijos," I I can't do her voice. Long view. Who's this? Follow me on YouTube. It was nobody. Echoing from the canal. By morning, the children were found at the water's edge, silent, eyes glazed, claiming a beautiful woman in white had called to them, promising to reunite them with their brother. Ever since, no one in the barrio dares forget a single soul on their altar. That was a short one. The wooden horse of Guanajo. Let's ride to Michoacan to a town called Guanajo. Ah, these names, I'm pretty sure I butchered that name. Where families carve wooden horses every year for Dia de los Muertos. These aren't toys, they're vessels. According to legend, the souls of the dearly departed return home riding these brilliantly painted horses loaded with gifts and offerings. But here's the twist: the most cherished souls get the grandest horses. The forgotten ones, they walk. They trail behind, scavenging whatever falls from the horses ahead. Crumbs, wilted flowers, broken toys, anything to remind them that they're still loved. There's a tale of a cemetery caretaker who, on a cold November night, heard the hollow clop of a wooden hoof. He looked up to see a ghostly procession, spirits on horses, and behind them, pale figures gathering scraps. One young woman met his eyes and whispered, "Tell them I remember them, even if they've forgotten me." He quit the next day, but every year he leaves a wooden horse at his family's grave just in case. I'm getting a phone call from family just called. Hold on 2 seconds. Yes. It's it's it's. There it goes. I should have had that up this entire time. My phone, I should have had up on the second screen over here. That way it doesn't distract me over here. So let's put that over there face down so it doesn't bother me and I can answer messages here. Legend 3, La Catarina, the ghostly queen. La Catrina, I always add an A, like Catarina, it's Katrina. Elegant grinning, elegant grinning, draped in flowers and feathers. She is the glamorous face of Dia de los Muertos, but behind the smile lies something far more sinister. Born from Jose Guadalupe Posada's art, La Catrina has become the keeper of balance between life and death. Legend says if you disrespect the dead or mock the tradition, La Catrina will pay you a visit. In Mexico City, a wealthy man once threw a Day of the Dead party just to show off. He mocked the rituals, made jokes about his ancestors, and dressed his guests as skeletons for laughs. At midnight, the lights flickered, and in every mirror, guests saw not their own faces, but the hollow stare of La Catrina herself. The next morning, the man was found sitting by his altar, face painted like a skull, eyes wide with terror, unable to speak a word ever again. Respect the dead, or La Catrina will make sure you never forget. And that's kind of ironic too, because La Catrina was created as not just a face for Dia de los Muertos, which it eventually turned into, but it was created as a satirical comment about higher society and how everything just comes together with death. It doesn't matter what you dress like or you look like. One thing in common: we all die. And it was that was what it was created for. It was as a satire to poke fun at the rich. Aztec roots, the Miquat goddess of death. Oh, I butchered that name. I have a little Dia de los Muertos thing here. This is a Kakamora from Moana. These are Day of the Dead candles. That's just where that goes. I'm a movie fan. Don't come after me. Edgar Allan Poe. That magazine right there, or that article right there, is from this place. I went to Uranus. I'll tell you that story later. Long before Dia de los Muertos as we know it, the Aztec honored Miquatl, Miquat, the goddess of death. For them, death was not an end but a journey, one guided by powerful spirits. During her festivals, families left offerings of food, water, and precious stones, hoping the goddess would protect their loved ones on their perilous passage to Mictlan, the land of the dead. Some say on the nights of Dia de los Muertos, you can still feel Miquatla's presence, especially if you're alone in a dark room, surrounded by flickering candles and the scent of marigolds. If you hear soft footsteps or feel a cold breath on your neck, remember, she's only here to collect those who have no place left to remember. Make your altar, light your candles, and speak their names, because to be forgotten is the truest death of all. And right now, I got to add an outro because, like I said, I'm going to cut this up into different episodes. So, what do you think, is Spooky Family? Are these just stories, or is there something waiting for us when the veil is thinnest? Have you or your family ever experienced anything supernatural during Dia de los Muertos? Drop your stories in the comments, or DM me for your for. I can't read sometimes. Drop your stories in the comments or DM me for a chance to have your legend featured in a future episode. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the haunted side of Dia de los Muertos or Day of the Dead, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell icon, and share this episode with your friends, especially the ones who say they're not afraid of ghosts. As always, keep your candles lit and your eyes open. You never know what or who might be visiting. Thanks for listening to Spooky Mysteries. Until next time, stay spooky. Dun, dun, dun. That's one. That is awesome. You have one set up for your family dog. This candle, the biggest candle I got, is for dogs. Let me go grab it. I don't have an ofrenda set up. I'm going to set one up, but I don't have one set up yet. Let me go grab that. Don't stare at my ass. I've had this candle for years. I've never lit it. It's a centerpiece that I have, and I got more Dia de los Muertos things that I decorate my house with. I'm gonna bring them in here soon and set them up, probably on that very top shelf. But until then, this is my Dia de los Muertos dog candle. Now I have a dog. I have 3 dogs. I've had in total 6 dogs in my life. Yeah, 5 dogs. One wasn't mine technically. My oldest dog was Lucky, my favorite dog. I love that dog more than I had 6 dogs, 7 dogs, whatever. His name was Lucky. He passed away. He was like 14, 15 years old. He should have passed away years ago before he passed away. Um, he was a Samoyed mix. I love that dog. That dog was fierce. He would protect the house from anything that even stepped foot in the house or near the house. As long if my grandfather or me or my grandmother were not with you, and you try to get into my house, that dog would tear your ass up. He was a protector, but he loved us, and I love that dog. I don't have any pictures of him. I probably do somewhere, but I don't have any around so I can put up an ofrenda for him. But yes, this is my Dia de los Muertos candles for dogs. The other ones are just Dia de los Muertos candles. I have that displayed year round. I'm not wearing I'm wearing my hoochie daddy shorts. Go above the knee. Little Chihuahua. Now, don't take this the wrong way. I hate Chihuahuas. I got a Chihuahua. His name is Ang. He's out in the bedroom right now. I love that dog. I have had a love hate relationship with Chihuahuas since I was a child. I've been bitten. The most dogs that I've ever been bitten by, or the breed that's bitten me the most, has been Chihuahuas. I've had pit bulls. I've had wolf dogs. I've had German shepherds. I've had I've had all sorts of dogs. Um, my my pit bull mix, Appa, was mixed with Red Healer. Hyper energetic, super fast, great dog. He never bit me. Kind of nipped at me once or twice just because that's how I play with my dogs. My daughter's dog, which I'm taking care of, his name is Bruno. He's a huge dog. Never bit me. I've had like even the Samoyed never bit me. Wanted to rip me to shreds when we first got them, but never bit me. Chihuahuas, my friend's Chihuahuas, any Chihuahua, my Chihuahua, have all bitten me. I don't know why. They're just vicious little things. Sorry. I'm pretty sure your dog loves you or loved you when they were around. And if I ever met them, they would have bitten me too. I come telling you, I don't care if you train your dog 100%. I don't care what it is. If it's a Chihuahua, it's gonna bite me. I don't know why. Chihuahuas hate me. Two breeds of dogs guaranteed to bite me. Chihuahuas, boxers. They're just the two types of dogs I've always had the most issues with. Bam. Let me get this next script out of the way because I have things to do. And again, this next episode or next thing is still over Dia de los Muertos because I want these episodes to come out before Dia de los Muertos itself comes out. So if you're on YouTube, which you are, you'll be able to see these within the next couple weeks. The next couple episodes I have coming out are all crime related and paranormal. This after that, which is I think I got three. I got a week and 2 weeks out worth of episodes coming out, cut up, and this big one's gonna come out next week, Monday. So if you're seeing it live, you get a preview. If not, which you are, but you'll see it again in a week or two on YouTube, the full thing, not cut. And then on Spotify, it'll be cut up into the two different episodes. And then, yeah. So here's the next part. How an Aztec death cult became a global holiday. Picture this. You're walking through downtown Mexico City and you see a 7 foot tall paper mache skeleton wearing a feathered headdress dancing to reggaeton. Tourists snap selfies. We don't need the horror lighting for this. We're talking about history now. No. We need lights. We need lights again. Let's get back to regular. Jesus, that light is bright. There you go. Shit. Drop my beanie. Take my beanie off. Pick that up. Fix my hair so it doesn't bother me. You got a podcast set up and ordered? What's it going to be about? I want to know. And actually, send me a message after this, after I finish recording this. If you want, I could try to see if I can set you up with my Riverside stuff, which is where I'm streaming from right now. And that'll give you access to a whole bunch of stuff. I think it'll just add me as a producer, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't mess with other people's things. If I see your name on my stuff, just keep it on there. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm all about helping others. So if I can do that to help you out, that's great. If you want to do it on your own, I don't care. That's not my business. I'm just offering because I want to test out the limitations of what I have for Riverside. And if that means helping somebody out, and that means you getting all this that I have set up now started without having to do what I do, there's a bug in here, then that's fine by me. I'm trying to see where that bug's at because I saw it fly around my head. After this, and I'll try to add you and we'll see what we can do. Anyways, let me get back to this. Tourists snap selfies while kids munch on candy skulls with their own names on it on the forehead. Most people see the skulls and think Halloween, but spicier. And that's where they'd be wrong. What you're actually looking at is the great great grandchild of an Aztec death cult that once stretched human hearts on the temple steps, and somehow it's now a UNESCO listed party that sells out flights from Tokyo to Oaxaca. Stick around because in the next few minutes you're going to learn how a civilization that saw death as a career move turned into a holiday that even your local Starbucks tries to bottle. It's a story of ancient beliefs, colonial clashes, and incredible cultural resilience, all wrapped up in marigolds and good food. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to invite you to the wildest funeral that never ends. The Aztecs didn't do doom and gloom graveyards. For them, dying was like leveling up in a video game. Your final score determined which cosmic VIP lounge you entered. It wasn't an ending, it was a transformation on a critical step in a cosmic cycle that always came back around. Today, we call the high score screen Dia de los Muertos. But the code was written 3 millennia ago in a language that smelled of copal, incense, and marigolds, a language reciprocative between the living and the dead. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how a month long Aztec festival for the goddess of bones got squashed by Spanish monks, smuggled inside Catholic Saints Day, and finally exported as a neon colored passport stamp for the global dead. All that to say that this all started with our ancestors, because in Aztec tradition, and not just Aztec, because I know there's some people who are like, oh, it's not Aztec, it's blah blah blah. Yeah, but to the rest of the world that doesn't know the indigenous names, it's Aztec. I know there's Mexica, there's layers of all the indigenous tribes, but we're gonna group them together and call them the Aztecs. Why? Because not everyone knows what the hell I'm talking about if I drop specific names. So back in the day with the Aztecs, it was if you died during war, childbirth, we're at the same level. Childbirth and war were the same honor, like top tier. You were sent with, if I'm not mistaken, Quetzalcoatl as hummingbirds to fly into the sun and come back again. You didn't, and you, after like 13 days of trials, everyone else had to go through entire cosmic level, 7 layers of hell, of not Dia de los Muertos, 7 layers of the dead in Mictlan before, like, for like 7 to 14 years before you even thought about reincarnation. If you died childbirth or war, boom, you're up next. That was top tier. So that was like 3 different rants put together. That damn bug. It went. Look, my camera's flipped, so if I look this way and it goes this way, I'm looking different directions. Sorry if I'm yelling. We're talking about a cultural survival story so epic it makes Hollywood blockbusters look like children's cartoons. Let's start with the basics. The Aztecs never said death, they said transmigration of the vital essence through 9 paywalls. For them, life and death weren't opposites, they were two sides of the same coin, constantly cycling, constantly renewing. Every sunrise was a rebirth, every sunset a small death. And in this grand cosmic ballet, human beings played a crucial role. The ultimate the ultimate destination for most souls was Mictlan, a kind of underworld co-working space ruled by the power couple Mictecuatle and Mictlantecuatle. Try saying those names 3 times fast. It, my Nahuatl's very rusty. Mictlan wasn't a place of eternal torment like some European hells. It was more of a final resting place, a neutral zone where souls gradually faded away after navigating 9 challenging levels. Think of it like a very, very long journey. Each stage presenting its own trials, from crossing a vast river with the help of a loyal dog, which would have been the Cholosquincle, to traversing obsidian mountains, to battling fierce winds. It was a test of endurance, a final reflection of one's life. Mictequat, my brain stopped working there. Mictequatl, the Lady of the Dead, was the original queen of this realm, and her job description was simple yet profound: guard the bones of past generations, so new life could come anew from ancestral calcium. She was the she was the keeper of the raw material of creation, the silent guardian of what came before, ensuring that the cycle could continue. Think of her as the first cloud storage provider, except the server racks were femurs and the data was the very essence of life itself. Look, I was watching a lot of tech stuff at this time, so I made it very techy. Sorry. Her existence underscored the Aztec belief that death wasn't an end, but a vital component of ongoing creation. Bones weren't just remnants, They were potential. Once a year during the Aztec month of Titli, roughly corresponding to our mid July to mid August, the entire empire hit pause on war, taxes. I added this as a joke. And TikTok. Okay, no TikTok yet. And through a multi-week festival, so a month-long festival. This wasn't some somber hushed affair. Oh no, this was a celebration of life, death, and everything in between. Warriors danced with paper garlands, priests fasted, and ordinary families set out food for their relatives, skulls which they literally kept in their house like heirlooms. Imagine that, your great grandma's skull, cleaned and revered, sitting proudly on a shelf. The message was clear: the dead aren't gone, they're retired. Roommates who expect dinner, they're retired roommates who expect dinner. They're still part of the family, still part of the community, just on a different plane of existence. If you ghosted them, crop failure or smallpox style consequences would follow. It wasn't a casual suggestion, it was a cosmic imperative. Reciprocity was the law of the land, and the underworld fed the ancestors. They send rain. Forget them, they send drought, and maybe a volcanic eruption for emphasis. The Aztec believed that the spirits of the dead, properly honored, could intercede on behalf of the living, ensuring a good harvest, protection from illness, and general well being. This wasn't just tradition, it was the operating system of their entire civilization. Then enter Hernan Cortes in 1519, armed with steel, smallpox, and a medieval PR team that branded every indigenous ritual satanic karaoke. The Spanish conquistadors and the accompanying Catholic friars saw these rich, complex, and deeply spiritual practices as pagan idolatry, something to be eradicated in the name of God and crown. Monks smashed statues, burned codices, those invaluable ancient books filled with Aztec knowledge and history, and outlawed the month long death bash. They sought to impose a new worldview, one where death was a somber, fearful event, a gateway to heaven or hell, rather than a cyclical transformation. The cultural clash was immense, a collision of two utterly different cultures and cosmologies. But here's the twist: you can't delete a worldview that easily when it's. But here's the twist: you can't delete a worldview that easily when it's backed by 3,000 years of emotional care. You can't just erase a people's relationship with their ancestors, their understanding of the universe, with a decree and a bonfire. Indigenous communities responded like sneaky software pirates. They renamed files. This wasn't a sudden, conscious decision made in a boardroom. It was a slow, organic, and incredibly clever adaptation, a testament to the human spirit ability to preserve what is sacred. Mictlecuatl, the ancient lady of the dead, slowly but surely transformed over centuries into La Catrina, the elegant skeletal dame popularized by Jose Guadalupe Posada in the early 20th century, and now an iconic figure of Dia de los Muertos. Mictlan, the Aztec underworld, became purgatory, a Catholic concept that offered a convenient spiritual halfway house, and the month long party, impossible to entirely suppress, shrank two Catholic back to back holidays, All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, November 1st, November 2nd. It was a brilliant act of cultural camouflage, a way to keep the essence of their traditions alive under the very noses of their own conquerors. The monks, in their zeal, thought they won. They even imported European marigolds because the Mexican cempasúchil, the vibrant orange flower native to Mexico, smelled too pagan. But spoiler alert, the Mexican flower won that botanical election by a landslide, the Spanish marigold. The cempasúchil with its intensely aromatic and vivid petals, was far more effective at guiding souls, or at least at capturing the hearts and imaginations of people. Syncretism isn't just a fancy word you learn in a college anthropology class. It's the art of smiling politely at the priest while hiding your grandma's femur underneath the floorboards, or secretly infusing pre Hispanic beliefs into Catholic rituals. It's the ingenious way cultures merge and adapt, creating something new that still carries the echoes of the old. Over 2 centuries, I see it. So that little thing that's flashing in front of me is a gnat that is flying this close to my camera. As I'm looking around here, it is literally right in front of my camera. Oh, you bastard. Sorry about that. Over 2 centuries, altars, those sacred spaces for the dead, crept back into homes, first disguised as private devotion, a seemingly innocuous Catholic practice, then as folk art, something quaint and culturally distinct. By the 1800s, skeletons weren't just grim reminders of mortality. They wore French ball gowns, sipped tea, and played musical instruments, reflecting a playful satirical attitude towards death that was uniquely Mexican. The holiday was ready for its Instagram moment long before Instagram even existed. It had evolved, adapted, and was now more vibrant and resilient than ever. Fast forward to today, walk into any Mexican house on October 31st, and you'll meet the ofrenda, a multi tiered altar that doubles as a GPS system for souls. This isn't just a decoration, it's a meticulously constructed bridge between worlds, a loving invitation for the deceased to return, if only for one night. Each element on the ofrenda is a cheat code, a symbol deeply rooted in ancient beliefs and adapted over centuries. Marigold, those brilliant cempasúchil flowers, blaze orange because scientists recently confirmed their pigment reflects ultraviolet light. Translation: even dead eyes can't miss them. Their vibrant colors and strong, sweet scent are thought to literally pave the path for the spirits, drawing them home. Candles, equal runaway lights, thousands of tiny flames flickering, guiding the way through the darkness. Copal incense, a resin used since pre Hispanic times, is the TSA pre check. Its smoky, sweet aroma purifying the air and warding off bad vibes, ensuring a safe and clear passage for the returning spirits. Water sits out because after a multi-dimensional commute, the spirits are thirsty, parched from their long journey from Mictlan or purgatory. Pan de muerto, that sweet brioche like bread, often adorned with bones shaped knobs or tears, is a carb loading after the afterlife. For the afterlife, a delicious and comforting treat for weary travelers. And the sugar skulls or calaveras, it's a selfie frame, a playful memento. Your name on the forehead says this party has your name on it, literally. These aren't morbid symbols, they're joyous, colorful representations of the deceased, a sweet reminder that death is part of life. The ofrenda is a feast for all senses. Kids get toys, colorful little trinkets, and candies, as November 1st is dedicated to Los Angelitos, the souls of deceased children, who are believed to arrive first. Adults get tequila, mezcal, or their favorite beer, a final toast to their memory. And dogs, well, dogs get an invisible bark. Well, dogs get to bark at invisible intruders, their ancient role as guides to the underworld, still subtly present. The whole setup lasts about 48 hours. November 1st is for Los Angelitos, dead children. Get the early bird special, their favorite sweets and toys laid out. Then at midnight, as the clock ticks into November 2nd, the grown ups clock in, and the mezcal flows, the music swells, and the stories are told. It's a night of remembrance, laughter, and sometimes tears, but always profound connection. By November 3rd, the marigolds are wilted, the candles are stubs, and the city sweeps up 1,000 tons of petals that smell like memory and citrus. A bittersweet reminder of the brief, beautiful reunion. The spirits have returned to their realm, refreshed and remembered until next year. So, how did a Mexican neighborhood block party conquer a planet? It wasn't an overnight phenomenon. It was a gradual organic spread, a cultural wildfire fanned by three main vectors: railroads, Hollywood, and UNESCO. First, the railroads in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Mexican rail workers migrating north for jobs brought their traditions with them to the American Southwest. These were communities carrying their culture in their hearts and their luggage, setting up small personal altars in their new homes, keeping the flames of tradition alive. This established early pockets of Dia de los Muertos celebrations outside of Mexico. By the 1970s, Chicano artists in places like Los Angeles deeply invested in reclaiming and celebrating their heritage, fused Aztec glyphs with graffiti murals and bingo truck and a bingo, a vibrant, unapologetic explosion of cultural export. They took the traditional imagery, reimagined it, making it relevant to a new generation in a new context, cementing its place in the broader cultural landscape. This art wasn't just decoration, it was a statement of identity, a visual declaration that their roots ran deep and their culture was alive and thriving. Then came Hollywood, the ultimate global storyteller. In 2017, Pixar's film Coco wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon that made $800 million dollars worldwide and taught the world that your grandma's spirit might need her knitting needles on the other side. Coco did more to introduce Dia de los Muertos to a global mainstream audience than any previous effort. It presented the holiday with such warmth, beauty, and emotional depth that it resonated universally. Huh? Yeah, they're going to get blocked. Suddenly, people who had never heard of an ofrenda understood its sacred purpose. They learned about the bridge of the marigolds, the importance of remembering, and the profound message that true death is being forgotten. The film's success sparked a global fascination. Parisian baking started selling pan de muertos eclairs, a fusion of French pastry and Mexican tradition. Tokyo department stores erected elaborate ofrendas featuring Hello Kitty and La Catrina makeup, a testament to how deeply the imagery had penetrated global consciousness. While some debated the commercialization, there's no denying Coco brought an ancient tradition to billions, inviting them to learn more. And finally UNESCO in 2008 in the United Nations of Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organizations listed Dia de los Muertos as an intangible cultural heritage, the bureaucratic equivalent of a blue check mark, but with far more gravitas. This designation wasn't just an award, it was a global recognition of the holiday's profound cultural significance, its historical depth, and its importance to human heritage. It provided a protective umbrella, acknowledging the holiday as a masterpiece of oral and intangible heritage, encouraging its preservation and appreciation worldwide. This official endorsement lent credibility and prestige, further fueling global interest. Today, you can celebrate in Melbourne with vegan sugar skulls, in Madrid with churro calaveras, or in Vancouver with cannabis infused marigold tea. Oh, that sounds delicious. Yeah, I have a lot to say about that in a minute. The holiday has become a franchise, yes, with varying degrees of authenticity, but the core license is still an open source. Remember the dead, feed the living, and don't fear the one thing that's guaranteed. It's a testament to the holiday's universal appeal, its ability to transcend cultural boundaries and speak to a fundamental human need to connect with those we've lost. Yeah, the real Mama Coco never got recognized for it, and it's sad. But if I'm not mistaken, they raised a ton of money for it. Disney never paid her out, but the people did. Uh, See, now I got to Google stuff. Maria Salud Ramirez Caballero. Godly. Yeah, yeah, whatever. I don't remember. I know they raised money, but I think the family raised money because she was the inspiration. I know Disney didn't pay her, but I can't find anything that says that. that somebody that they made money off of. But I think they did make money off of it, but not Disney. Disney didn't pay them out. She passed away 3 years ago at 109 years old. Wow, that's wild. 109. Sorry. If this story rewired your brain, hit the like button so the algorithm resurrects it for more viewers. And hey, subscribe. History's afterlife is better with company. Time to kill some zombies, or rather, some persistent myths. Myth 1: Day of the Dead is a Mexican Halloween. Absolutely not. While they share a calendar proximity and some superficial imagery like skulls and skeletons, their core purposes are diametrically opposed. However, opposed Halloween with its ghosts, goblins, and monsters is largely about scaring away evil spirits and celebrating the spooky side of the autumn. It's about keeping the monsters out, about a playful engagement with fear. Yeah, I saw the gym influencer that found her on there when I just Googled it real quick. Dia de los Muertos, on the other hand, is about inviting the loved ones in. It's a joyous reunion, a warm welcome for the spirits of family and friends who have passed on. Different guest lists, different vibe, entirely different emotional landscape. One is about fear, the other about love and remembrance. Myth 2: Sugar skulls are satanic. This one always makes me chuckle because they're not. Actually, they're a beautiful and fascinating example of cultural fusion, a 17th century Italian import. When the Spanish arrived, they brought with them not just Catholicism, but also European traditions. Among these was the art of sugar molding, particularly popular in Italy for religious festivals. European nuns taught locals how to make intricate sugar art for Catholic holidays like lambs or angels. Over time, the indigenous artisans, uh, with their existing reverence for skulls and bones, adapted this technique to create the vibrant, decorative sugar skulls we see today. So, if you're looking to blame someone for the satanic sugar skulls, you'd have to point your finger at Italy and the Catholic Church, not the Aztecs. They are a sweet, often personalized symbol of the deceased, a playful way to acknowledge mortality. Myth number 3: The holiday is always sad. This could be further from the truth. While there is certainly an element of solemn remembrance and a natural pang of missing loved ones, the overriding emotion of Dia de los Muertos is one of celebration. I just saw she's so hot. As I'm trying to read, I'm like, ah, I'm reading something serious. Hold on. I got to gather myself back again. Give me a second. Oh, man. Natural pang of missing loved ones. The overriding emotion of Dia de los Muertos is one of celebration, joy, and lively connection. Watch a mariachi band play to a skeleton in a tuxedo in a cemetery surrounded by families picnicking on a grave, sharing stories and laughter, and try not to smile. It's impossible. Cemeteries become vibrant social hubs filled with music, food, and conversation. People clean and decorate graves, sometimes spending the entire night there, sharing memories and celebrating the lives of those who have passed. It's a party, a family reunion, a testament to the enduring power of love and the memory. The sadness is woven into tapestry of joy, understanding that grief is a part of the human experience, but so is the celebration of a life lived. Bottom line, this holiday endures because it solves a universal bug in the human operating system: how to handle the delete key, called death. Every culture grapples with mortality, with loss, with the inevitable farewell. But most Western cultures tend to stash death behind hospital curtains and funeral home curtains, making it sterile, distant, and often frightening. We often avoid talking about it, fearing it, pushing it out of sight and out of mind. Dia de los Muertos drags it into the dining room, onto the dining room table, sets a plate for it, and cracks a joke until the fear shrinks, until it becomes a familiar, even comforting presence. Psychologists call it exposure therapy. Anthropologists call it liminal communitas, a temporary suspension of social hierarchies and norms that fosters a deep sense of community and shared humanity in sacred spaces. Your abuela, your grandmother, just calls it visiting, a simple, profound act of keeping family ties strong, even across the veil. In an age when we ghost people by text, when digital connections often replace physical presence, the holiday insists on face to face reconciliation. Even if one face is made of clay adorned with glitter and beer and bears the name of a cherished ancestor, it's a powerful antidote to modern alienation, a reminder that we are all connected, living and dead, in a continuous, unbreakable chain. It's about facing death not with dread, but with acceptance, remembrance, and even a playful wink. Got questions about Mikwaro's skincare routine or how to build an ofrenda in a studio apartment? Drop them below. I read every comment, alive or otherwise. Those are stupid jokes that I put in there because I write these at like midnight. But seriously, if you have any questions about how to create an ofrenda, they're very easy to find. I can talk to you about it. I send you messages about it. Like I said, I got all my things ready to build one. The Kokomora stands there. He stays there all the time. But I got two little sugar skull plates. I got my candles. I just need all the rest of my stuff, which I'll be getting later on. So next time you see a candy skull, don't flinch, smile. That grin is a 3,000-year-old reminder that history isn't a straight line. It's a circle, like the Aztec sunstone, constantly revolving, constantly renewing. Conquest try to grind it down. Colonialism try to baptize it. Globalization try to merchandise it. Yet the holiday keeps rotating, collecting new pigments, new playlists, new names, new interpretations. Without losing its core essence, the dead never really die as long as we feed them stories, songs, and a little orange flower that smells like late October. Celebrate them, remember them, keep their stories alive, and maybe, just maybe, when it's your turn to clock out, when you make that final journey across the bridge of marigolds, someone will leave the porch light on, a plate of pan de muerto warm, and a candle flickering your name into the night, inviting you back home, if only for a little while. And that is it for Dia de los Muertos. Man, that was a good stream. An hour and a half. I don't need my teleprompter no more. Thank you so much for everybody. And Daw, Ari, send me a message. I will set whatever I can on my end up. That way, whenever you do start your streams and your podcast, you'll have the same setup I do. Because right now I am on Riverside and it is being streamed to YouTube, Twitch. And if I wanted to open up my Instagram, it'd be on Instagram also. But I only do mainly in YouTube and Twitch. I post to everywhere else. So after this, send me a message on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you find me. I know you're following me on TikTok because I just saw you liked one of my videos. But that is it, guys. Everyone else, I will see y'all later. Until next time, stay spooky, everybody. I need to put an outro. I'll do that. I say this every time I stream.